So we're here in Clovis, California, and we just did a quick repair here. Got an old filler valve, looks like a pool filler with the check valve and then a shut-off valve. Anyways, it got damaged and got cracked down there. So, and the homeowner stated that the autofill valve for the pool has been repiped at some point and is working fine. So, anyways, he just wanted to abandon this. If there becomes a problem with the pool, obviously, if this is still tied into something, then certainly let us know. We can come back out and duplicate these parts. We'll get some new stuff. It's all corroded. It's a dielectric union, it's pretty corroded, and then a gate valve, don't like those, like the ball valves, and a check valve. Anyways, easily plumbed. So what we did is went ahead and just cut that out entirely. Soldered on a female adapter, a 3/4 female adapter, and then just took a 3/4 brass plug and plugged it off, so it makes it easy. If you need to do anything with that at some point, or any point of water connection there, you shut that valve back down. Let me get it open all the way. Shut that valve back down, bleed the water out, pull that plug, and you're free to plumb whatever you'd like, whether it's a pool filler or whatever else. Anyways, that's the scope of the work, and we are done. So one last video, I showed you in a previous one, but it was kind of lengthy, so I went ahead and I'm going to just take another one real quick. This is the fitting that we soldered on. So we abandoned this piping right here. We just cut it off because all of this, you can see, that's corroded and this was leaking and it's been abandoned. It was old pool filler and homeowner says it's already tied in somewhere else. So this whole thing was gone. And I went ahead and took and soldered this adapter on and put a brass plug in the end. So our solder joint was great. However, you can see the soldering job here. This went into the next fitting, which is sitting right here. This is a 1 3/4 bushing. And so this was actually sitting up in there. And you can see it only went up to there about halfway. Additionally, if you look real close, you can see all this copper shining through. This should be solid solder in here, so it should be silver in color, which you can see hardly a drop of solder in there. So this was weeping. We got done, plugged it, tested it, and if you would run your finger back around here, you could feel a little bit of weeping right there. So we went ahead and shut it back down, soldered, sweat this back out, put a new piece of copper in, a new adapter, put the plug back in. Okay, so back up in here. Now this is all good, all soldered correctly, no weeping like it should be, no water down here. And but if you feel up around here, and it takes a little bit, if you take and you rub your finger around this joint, you get that moisture, and you can see it glistening. Hopefully there's moisture, so it's just weeping. Same thing. So if you look at all these joints, you can see where the water's been running. That's scale. That's from water rolling down joints, all of them. So it just didn't get soldered real good, and then it starts to build up. And it's not like a spraying, massive leak. It's just simply water builds up, and then finally it'll roll down and roll off. Our repair is good. This was not in the scope of work, the 1 3/4. However, we're out here working on it, so I feel bad that that something's still going on. I did talk to the homeowner and let him know, and you can start chasing this stuff back. You can go ahead and sweat this out, put it back in, and then the T becomes a problem. These joints may begin to weep. Anytime you put a torch back on it, you could have a problem with the next fitting. So you could take this out and maybe get back to this, but you can see there's another bushing right here going from 1 inch over to the 1.5 inch line. And so you just keep going back and back until you get to the T. And that's worst case scenario. Obviously you could hit pay dirt and something finally begins to stop leaking. But like I say, this right here, you can see just from the time I've been talking, it's hardly any that you could notice. It will develop enough to where it will roll down and drip off. It will also begin to scale up like we showed you before. All of this buildup, and you'll see it in the first video. It's just a big white mass of scale. It just starts to grow on the pipe because that's where the water's coming out. So anyways, we're going to leave it at that, and homeowner's going to keep an eye on it and let us know. And outside of that, we are done.